In today's video, it's all building up to one of the biggest fights in UFC history.
To send him to the moon right now, why not give him Conor?
Woo!
Let's make the fight at 155. Why not give him Conor?
Will Dana White make this mega fight happen? It seems Conor McGregor might be hinting at a possible retirement from the UFC, or perhaps a farewell to fighting altogether.
No. It's fucking crazy.
However, Ilia Topuria is already feeling disappointed with Dana White.
Max Holloway, Dana only give me 50K?
50K and a ruby.
He is a Greenback machine.
Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley has made a crazy statement, saying he's planning to move up and earn a super fight with Georgian. The MMA community also believes Ilia Topuria narrowly edges out Alex Pereira for Fighter of the Year, and many argue that Topuria deserves the BMF belt, suggesting that without him, the belt loses its appeal.
You know what happens to the BMF now? Like, it just loses juice, bro.
As you know, Ilia Topuria eyeing a lightweight bout with Islam Makhachev, promising to beat him by submission. And why should Makhachev refuse this fight under any circumstances? We'll reveal it soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We'd be grateful for your support. Ilia Topuria has taken the MMA world by storm, carving his name into the history books in a way few others have managed. The young Georgian fighter made headlines by achieving what many thought was impossible, knocking out the legendary Max Holloway, about whose impenetrable jaw people have already made up legends. At just 27 years old, Topuria has already defeated two of the biggest names in his division. But many people dislike the Georgian fighter for his trash talk, but we must remember that it's just part of the game. Necessary promotion to keep the audience engaged, and most importantly, to sell the fight effectively. Let's be honest, Ilia is doing the right thing. If you are a modest fighter and do not use trash talk, then you can wait an eternity for a title chance. It's understandable why some fans have taken offense. After all, Topuria has faced and defeated public favorites in his last two outings, and his verbal jabs weren't always easy for their supporters to swallow. However, the key difference with Topuria is that he backs up every word he says. He promised to knock out Alex Volkanovski, and he did just that. He vowed to finish Holloway, and he delivered. He's done exactly what he said he would do, taking out two of the brightest stars in the division and solidifying both his legacy and his media profile. However, now it's time to further cement his legacy and pursue new challenges. To begin with, Topuria already has an opponent lined up. Following his recent victory over Holloway, Volkanovski entered the octagon, demanding a rematch. Ilia, ever the gentleman, expressed his openness to the idea, but also emphasized his need for rest. However, it's clear that fans have something entirely different in mind. Ilia versus Conor in Spain. Imagine Topuria versus McGregor at Bernabeu Stadium, just as Topuria dreams. Why not? They already have a storied history, and they genuinely hate each other.
Let's be real. I am as Spanish, if not more Spanish, than Ilia Topuria. There was a Georgian man undercover.
You, Conor, all day, every day.
Ask to God, don't cross the paths with me, never ever, because I'm gonna you up whenever I'm gonna see you.
See what happens here? See what happens here when you cross me, bro, or you come across me? Pop, 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 pop. Or grab him by the scruff of the chest and slap their little nose off him, yeah?
The hype for a fight with McGregor dwarfs any other potential matchups, whether it's against Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker, or even a rematch with Dustin Poirier. The stakes, the drama, the narrative, none come close to what Ilia versus Conor would offer. If Conor were to accept this fight, it would be a spectacle like no other. Honestly, Conor has nothing to lose. If Conor wins, he'll capture all the hype currently surrounding Georgian. If he loses, well, people will simply say he's past his prime, rusted by years of inactivity and indulgence. Either way, he doesn't lose much, and the payday would be astronomical for both sides. Conor McGregor recently stirred up speculation when he responded to a fan's tweet with the cryptic words, "You know what? You're right. Goodbye." The fan had pointed out that McGregor has no reason to return to fighting, mentioning his successful business ventures, financial stability, and the importance of spending time with his family. McGregor's response has left fans and the MMA community buzzing, wondering if this might be his way of signaling a retirement from fighting for good. Given his unpredictable nature, it's unclear whether this is a genuine farewell or just another of his provocative statements.
I think Ilia wants to fight in Spain, because here now we have a lot of fans. We are talking about this a lot of time, asking for UFC came to Spain, and the other day Dana White said this year is going to come here. I don't know when they're going to do it, but I think his idea is do it here.
Hey, let's make the fight at 155. Why not give him Conor? That would make a stadium in Spain. He becomes the next Conor McGregor.
Henry Cejudo also believes Ilia Topuria deserves the BMF belt and thinks the BMF title should always be on the line every time the BMF holder fights.
Dana White, even out of his own mouth, said we should have put the BMF belt on the line, because you know what happens to the BMF now? Yeah, what they're going to do a Max Holloway versus Poirier. Like, it just loses juice, bro. Like, the BMF, hold on, Kush. The BMF, every time you fight for it, it should always be on the line. And particularly against the Matador, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should always be on the line. And the fashion that he did it, the first 10 seconds, are you the baddest motherfucker? Come on. Here's the center of the octagon. And the guy that hasn't avoided, like, he wanted to fight, as he rightfully should have. But just the fact that Ilia was able to find him and actually finish him, you got to give him the BMF, dude, because the BMF bout loses juice. It really does, bro, because... And it's sad, Kamaru, because like an MMA, dude, you can go from sugar to shit real quick. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the position now where, like, people are now talking about Max Holloway retiring. Like, you know what I'm saying? like straight up, like, you go on the internet. You go on the internet.
Fans are stupid.
Volkanovski, too, has praised him, acknowledging that Topuria's knockout of Holloway was more impressive than anything we've seen recently, even besting Alex Pereira's best efforts for knockout of the year. That's a statement from someone who has been in the cage with the best.
Pereira saving cards and putting his belt on the line while he's saving cards. Yeah, it would be clearly Ilia. Mm-hmm. You've had 3 defenses, but the 2 that Ilia took out, man, that's and finishing us both. You know, it's hard to say. It's hard to pick against Ilia, to be honest. And I thought it was. Like before the weekend, I was like, how does Pereira not get it? Right? It was pretty clear. But then you go out there and have 2 massive wins like that while I was champion, you know what I mean? While I was a defending champion, and then Max while he was still on a tear, like, you know what I mean? That's pretty impressive, man. You know what I mean? I think that takes over. It's tough for me to say because I was saying probably different last week. I was thinking it couldn't be beat, but now if you think about it, you think of the guys that Ilia beat.
Ilia Topuria has had an amazing year, Kamaru, and I think it would be silly for us to not give him Fighter of the Year over a guy like Alex Pereira. I'm going to tell you why. Ilia Topuria beat 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. Alexander Volkanovski, who was a former pound-for-pound king, and then obviously everybody knows what a guy like Max Holloway has done. So you know what? I'm gonna say it right now because I know you jumped on that Alex Pereira bandwagon. Alex Pereira, move out the way. There's a BMF and there's a Fighter of the Year, and his name is Ilia Topuria.
Wow. Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley has made a crazy statement, saying he's planning to move up and earn a super fight with Georgian.
God, can you guys imagine if I would have went out there and knocked out Marab, Ilia just knocked out Max, how big of a super fight that would have been? It's okay, I'm gonna get it back. We're gonna climb the ladder, climb back up. I want super fights. I want the biggest fucking fights out there, and we'll get that one of these days. God, so I got this grill, and I kind of feel like a dork. Feels dumb.
Ilia was in an orthodox stance, just like this. He steps forward, steps deep with his left leg, opens up his palm just to set up his right hand. So he steps with his left leg, opens up the palm, comes over the top while Max is reaching and his feet are square, and cracks him with the right hand. Erupts him, he's still in good position, bing, to throw a clean left hook right on the lips, and it sat Max down.
Topuria is setting his sights high, even calling for a lightweight bout with Islam Makhachev, and promising to beat him by submission. However, for Makhachev, this fight may not make much sense strategically. With 3 successful title defenses already, including 2 against Alexander Volkanovski, Makhachev has taken significant risks, yet some still criticize him for not facing contenders from his division. And if Makhachev defeats Topuria, then there will be exactly the same conversations. Islam hardly needs this when he has other challenges ahead of him, like defending against Arman Tsarukyan and potentially eyeing a welterweight clash if Shavkat Rakhmonov claims that belt.
Well, you know, what you and I are just talking theory, right? Because the UFC decides what they want to do. But I would, Islam, you know, after hopefully we get Arman on his next title defense, because Arman deserves it. Hopefully, you know, if that goes well, you know, I would think that Islam, rather than go with Topuria and then be told, oh, you picked another little guy, you know, I would think he'd rather have the bigger challenge and go up in weight if possible. You know, I think that's a bigger challenge for him, for what he would want to do. But hey, you know, the bottom line is, if the UFC offers it, Islam's going to take it. You know, but if we're asking me what I want, you know, then I would want him to go another division or something, you know.
Meanwhile, Topuria has plenty of opportunities in his own division. Aljamain Sterling recently shared his thoughts on a potential matchup with Topuria.
If I were to fight him, you know, God willing, inshallah, I beat Mosar and I do get the crack. I do think I have a great style to neutralize his offense. Because, bro, most of these guys are striking with him. I ain't doing that, bro. I ain't doing that. We sitting there looking for our takedown, and then we're going to have to make it a grappling match. I'm trying to get the dub. I'm not trying to get my head and my brain sent to the next dimension again. I'm good on that. But I think it's cool that people were even mentioning that. I didn't even see that tweet yet. So hopefully Jake can actually find that. But I think that would be a crazy match for multiple reasons. One, obviously, because Merab and I are boys. Merab is also boys with Ilia, so I don't know what that turns into, right? But I'm not even trying to put that negative energy in the air. I don't know. I just don't know. But thankfully, I don't have to worry about that anytime soon. I got one other tough opponent in front of me, and then we kind of go from there.
However, Ilia Topuria is already feeling disappointed with Dana White.
Another moment for you. You've won an extra 50 grand. I imagine that...
Only give me 50 grand.
Is it just 50 grand? Anybody know? Anyone know? I'm sorry to inform you, it's only 50 grand.
Max Holloway, Dana only give me 50K.
50K and a ruby. How about that? A ruby in the belt. Come on. That one's invaluable. Back to Spain.
He's gonna give me a little bit more. I hope so. I'm gonna put my hopes in Dana.
Hi, Conor. You took my video on Instagram. Yeah. Hi, Conor.
Yes, let's go.
Believe in Jesus and you will go to heaven.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice day.
Remember, Jesus loves us, brother.
Yes.
What a day.
Only not all people, believers, go to heaven, you know. Very dangerous, Conor. Very dangerous.
We pray.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We'd be very grateful.